Here we are. Okay, I'm just waking up, so I'm a little slow to move this morning. I've got some fantastic royalty-free music playing in the background to warm us up, and we've got a good matchup here. This is going to be a Scorpion mirror, and the interesting thing about this mirror is that one of the decks is one of these new archetypes using a Lion Splash, which is pretty unique. So Yamaneko is running Lion Splash. The deck actually performed quite well in the Cork Kotai in Ireland. I think it came top 4, something similar anyway. Something I noticed that he's including that the Cork guy didn't was Ageless Crone in duplicates, which is pretty sweet. I'm just gonna give these guys the all clear. Yeah, so I'm doing a solo cast. Normally I'll have one of my Hidden City Roller brothers on to help me out, but yeah, they're all indisposed with work and other real life problems. So JDSauce was actually the #1 seed coming out of the group stage of this season 3, and he looks to have a pretty well balanced Scorpion deck, running, of course, Fate Worse Than Death. Only in duplicates, though, and he's using Dragon Splash with Let Go and Fury. And with the standard Province Throw, they're both using the... Actually, you know what? It looks like Yamaneko's gone for Rally to the Cause instead of an Earth Province, which is kind of intriguing. I guess he wants that one extra conflict. Force the opponent to poke once. Okay, so we got our opening flips. So JDSauce has got a Liar, Illusionist. He's probably not going to be playing the Illusionist turn 1, I wouldn't have thought, or Shoju. So he's probably just going to play the Liar and pass. This is pretty bold. Yamaneko is playing Hiroe straight up, which is interesting. With one Fate, this is not a play you see that often. I don't think it's a play that Scorpion really wants to be making, but maybe he feels like the Rumor Monger is really not going to have an effect turn 1. But he did get a City of Lies, which is pretty important. He's also running 2 Fate Worse Than Deaths, and he's running the 3 Legion of Ones, 3 Goblin Sneak shenanigans, which I just love. The first time I encountered that deck on Jigoku, I lost my brain laughing my head off. I just love it. And it's incredibly powerful to steal your opponent's last Fate and then just gun down a Pilgrimage or something with a 2-drop. Okay, so it looks like JDSauce is just in the tank here, thinking about which character he wants to play, or whether he doesn't play any at all and just passes. Yeah, he has to play the Liar. The Liar is too efficient. It gets him a card at the end of the turn. And because he's going second, wow, so this is a really interesting strategy by Yamaneko, in my opinion. He's keeping no Fate in reserve, which likely means that he's got an event... for 1 that he wants to play, or potentially because he's got a City of Lies. So this is kind of intriguing. I personally would have passed, I think, but I don't have complete hand knowledge. Eternal Mage in the chat says Rumor Monger's really bad. Yeah, turn 1 it really, especially in the mirror, it doesn't feel very impactful. It's good to move Dishonor tokens to your opponent's courtiers. But yeah, in the first turn, it's really not going to have a big effect. So this is an interesting point of difference in the strategies. We've got someone who's just bought all of his characters, and someone who's hoarding Fate. And this Scorpion strategy of hoarding Fate, passing first, has really exploded. Shout out to Frotop, you bastard. Yeah, the 1 Fate Hiroe is a little bit of a gamble because, I mean, presumably you've got a Forged Edict in hand, because if you get Fate Worse Than Death, maybe he's trying to goad out a Fate Worse Than Death turn 1 and just thinks, you know what, if my big guy gets Fate Worse Than Death turn 1, then at least my big guy later in the game doesn't get Fate Worse Than Death. Okay, so we got 5 bids, no surprises there, so there'll be no honor exchange. So a key part of this matchup for people who aren't experienced in it, not this specific matchup, because I haven't actually seen the Lion variant of Scorpion played against another Scorpion deck, but Scorpion mirrors in general, it's crucial that you turn on your Stronghold. So you want to be the first player to play an Assassinate, and you want to just get to as low honor as possible so you can start sucking. Because if over the course of a game you're able to have a 10 honor swing over 5 turns with your Stronghold, 5 free air rings will win you the game, usually. Soldier Token saying that JD reckons he's likely to have a conflict character. I think that's probably true. He's seen roughly a quarter of his deck. Excuse me. So this is kind of like, he's going for a military Earth conflict. This is like the worst case province to reveal with that first poke. You give the guy another fate, so JD's up to 9, and unless you want to expend a big card, your ring is going to fizzle. But Earth is actually a very, very powerful opening ring in this mirror as well. Because I guess Fire is the other one that's pretty good. The others really don't do a lot turn 1. But it's going to be important for Yamaneko to deny the Void Ring. If for instance, JDSauce just gets a free Void off and then the board wipes and no one takes a province, he's going to have a 9 fate lead and it's going to cost him nothing over the first turn, which is going to be really, really rough. Got some lovely royalty-free music playing for you guys. Shout out. And a nice big coffee. Got the double shot soy right here, man. Where I'm from, down under, it is 10 a.m. And okay, so charge. So this is a move that's become more and more common. I've been seeing. Shoju's actually a fantastic charge target. He has decent military skill, but one thing he enables you to do is play policy debate. Which I'm expecting to see now. Play policy debate and pretty much guarantee a win. So we'll see what he does. Aussie Stream Hype. What's up, Monsters? How you doing, man? Yeah, hopefully you guys can understand me through my thick convict ramblings. Okay, so Assassination was played, Forged Edict, and he's using Shoju to play the Edict. Man, what do you guys think about that? I guess he just doesn't want to get shamed with his Liar on attack. He just wanted to oppose, prevent the break. I don't even know about playing the Assassination in the first place in the Liar. I guess getting rid of a Forged early is pretty cool. And also, like I was talking about earlier, turning on the Stronghold. I always love doing this in Scorpion, because if you can have your Stronghold working overtime and disable your opponents, that's a great thing to happen. By spending powerful cards like Assassination, that's a good way to get it going. JDSauce, he was actually, I think he was top seed in the group stage. So he got a bye in the round of 64, so this is kind of intriguing. Alright, so he's just going to go have a look. Another thing that I've been seeing is that if you're going second and you've only got one character, a lot of the time players will pass, especially if there's no Fade and Rings, they'll pass their first conflict. Just to sort of widen their plan of attack, because then you can kind of decide if you would like to defend their second conflict before you even get into attacking. But it's possible he's got a conflict character, so he wants to come over the top and break with like a unassuming Yojimbo or something. So we'll see what happens. So this isn't, I mean, the difference between hitting Pilgrimage, giving the guy a fate, and having your ring cancelled versus hitting Meditations, where it's going to have no effect, it's going to give the opponent no benefit. I mean, provinces in L5R in general just have huge, huge swings. And it's one of the reasons why defending turn 1 and just poking has become a really, really popular strategy across clans, not just in Scorpion. Because if you can turn on your provinces. They're free effects that are essentially more powerful than your conflict cards for the most part, and they're free. You turn on yours and you turn off theirs for a whole turn. And while you're setting up, you're sort of jockeying for position turn 1. It's super powerful strategy. Excuse me. So Hiraway has decided to defend. So this is curious to me. I'm wondering why he's done this. It's kind of curious. Given that you've spent a character to poke, I would probably prefer a second attack with Hiraway. And I mean, how is JDSauce going to break this province? I'm just looking at his deck. He is playing a single copy of Court Mask, which could do it. Other than that, he's got a Magistrate. He's got to spend a lot of Fade on, or a Kachiko. So I don't know about defending. I guess it's Watering, so he doesn't want Shoju to be turned on again and defend. What do you guys think about that decision? These first turns increasingly are becoming so much more important to the outcome of these games, but they're really hard to decipher who's actually getting these edges. And I know in my round of 64 match, shout out to Minds of Zai for casting that embarrassment. I basically passed an entire turn with a Lion against Dragon, and it completely ruined me with my second turn flip. But there are many small decision points, especially turn 1, that sort of blow up in later turns, and it's really hard to analyze the complete effects of those mistakes turn 1, because they take a long time to manifest. It's a really interesting part of the game. So JDSauce has played for shame, and Yamaneko's elected to bow. So at this point, I'm thinking, why did you defend? Like, if you're going to bow, you're clearly not... Okay, so he's played court games. So he wants to dishonor these courtiers. See, this to me also seems like why is he playing this court games? He wants to dishonor the Lie. The Lie has no glory. The Lie is not breaking. He's still going to get this ring effect off, this Ring of Water. He's disabling the cancels, but he's got no fate left. He's played his Assassination. I'm just looking at his deck. What cancels could he be wanting to prevent here? What events, sorry, is he wanting to play? Interestingly, Yamaneko's playing one policy debate. Which is kind of curious. It's more of an aggro deck, it looks like. The 2 Ageless Corona is something new, which is pretty cool. Okay, so and then the counter for shame. Okay, so that's the reason why he played the court games. He wants this ring effect to not work, and he's happy for sort of a 0-0 draw this turn, with the exception of Hiraway is going to stick around. So now here's the problem with this, right? You buy Hiraway with 1 fate, which means if a turn like this happens and you manage to sort of break even, he's going to stick around for 1 more turn. But look at the fate cost for bringing that guy out. He spent... Card advantage is equal, right? Card advantage is basically equal with the storehouse. But look at the fate edge. JDSauce has got over a full turn's worth of fate in a lead over Yamaneko now, and at the cost of a 4-drop who's going to be around for 1 further turn. Now, yes, he has spent a cancel and a charge, which are both impactful events. And on the flip side, we've spent an assassinate. So I don't know if that trade-off is worth it. What do you guys think? To me, if I'm in Yamaneko's shoes, feels bad, man. I didn't like my opening flop, and the decision to play Hiraway with just the 1 fate was a little interesting to me. Now, having said that, I am fighting from the sidelines, so I got busted out of this tournament. So you got to take my analysis with a bit of grain of salt. Bowed rumor monger. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Seems like an expensive defend though, right? Like if I'm JDSauce, I'm not even spending Fate Worse Than Death there. Like I'm never breaking this province, right? Unless I get my one-off Court Mask. Why would I ever spend that card? Plus he could have a cancel. I haven't seen his hand yet. I don't know if he's got a cancel or not. Okay, so Yamaneko's played City of Lies. And he's passed his conflict. So is this just a baiting move? Probably. I will, I've just got to go AFK for about 30 seconds. I will be right back. Alright, so I've returned. Sorry about the little sabbatical. Okay, so the conflict character. So yeah, people in chat were speculating that it's likely he's got a conflict character, given the play one character in pass. Just fair assessment. So he's hit Rally to the Cause. So this is a province that it's so nice to hit early. Especially with a guy who's a 2-2. You're never really breaking anyway. You just want to claim the ring. Okay, so this is the sort of situation where the turn is a complete blowout because you've invested in these dynasty characters and they're all gone, and he's got a fate lead and a board lead. It's possible that Yamaneko doesn't have that much experience in the mirror. Or just, I mean, playing Scorpio is really tricky. You've got to... The way that I've been dealing with them lately is just by flooding the board with weenies turn one. And just trying to get off ring effects. And he's got a second liar. I mean, this is just the hotness, right? And once again, I think Yamaneko's flip is unideal. The favorable ground's pretty nice, but the illusionist really isn't doing much at the moment, and the rumor monger is really not going to do much. Yeah, I mean, that turn one was a blowout. Now, it is possible in these games for comebacks, but usually against skilled opposition, they're less likely to occur. I know for me, I played Lion, and Lion are very good at coming back because we have Kitsu Spirit Caller, but not every clan has that luxury. One thing going in Yamaneko's favor is that he hasn't spent a cancel, and cancels in this mirror matchup are incredibly important. I think Matt Light, the winner of the Court Kotai, he was invited on the Jade Throne podcast, and they were asking him about the final, and he said that his opponent spent a Fate Worse Than Death and a cancel on the first turn. And it was at that point he knew he had won, because his opponent had spent 2 of the 6 only really meaningful conflict cards in the game, in that matchup. On the first turn he hadn't spent any, and so he knew he'd have the gas later to win. And so that is something to consider. He has spent the Edict. Okay, so it's 5 bids again. Yamaneko got the pass fate this time, but he is staring down a veritable army of Scorpion Chuds and a Magistrate. This is not looking good. I mean, also, like, hitting Rally and Meditations turn 1, those are just the worst 2 possible outcomes for Yamaneko. He's not generating Fate. He's not threatening Honor and Dishonor with Shameful. He's not getting cash card. He's just they're basically blanks. They were blanks for the first turn, and his opponent got a pilgrimage. This is just really sick. So okay, so he's going for air. So he's just wanting to keep building that advantage and steal some fate. Why do you think he didn't go for fire? I guess Yamaneko, if he decides to dishonor, Yamaneko can pay one, remove the token. Air's more of a permanent sort of shift. This Magistrate is quite threatening. You know your opponent's likely to have dishonoring effects, although way the Scorpion's turned off. Yeah, it did feel like that first turn was as close to a disaster in this mirror as could be expected. Okay, so he's jumped in the Adept. So he's... Do you guys do this if you're just trying to prevent the ring? I mean, you're not preventing the break, right? Because he hasn't threatened the break yet. He hasn't done anything. So his goal is to play another pump and prevent the ring, which is just a ring of air. I'm not sure about this. I don't think I would bother. Now, he still has enough... Look, at this point, you don't want to be playing Fate Worse Than Death on any of those characters, right? It's a big waste of money. Okay, so JDSauce has played the Bonsai. So if it's me, I mean, my question is, why not wait for this to resolve before you play the character? Are there any reasons you wouldn't wait? Okay, so it's 6-2, so he's not breaking. Now another weakness to this board position from Yamaneko is that he does not have a courtier. So if an assassination hits the deck here, it's going to get ugly. Because he's going to have enough to break as well. Okay, Legion of One. So this tells me his intention was originally to win the conflict. Okay, why is he playing this card, right? His opponent's not breaking but winning. You play this card, and his opponent is still not breaking but winning. So I'm curious why. I mean, unless he has another pump, then that makes sense. But otherwise, why even play the card? I guess it gives you a tempo lead if you're worried about the speed of your actions. If you play it before you need to, rather than pass, but. Just doesn't seem like the play for me. So we're going into manual mode. I'm not sure what this is about. He wants to steal some honor. Yep. It's not really going to matter. I guess he wants to get it in before the Ring of Air. Okay, so my question still stands. Why play the Legion of One if the outcome of the conflict was unchanging? Maybe he was expecting further pumps. I want to see the Goblin Snake. Play the Goblin Snake. Yes, I am accusing you of being thieves, you dirty scorps. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Soldier Token mentions that he maybe just forgot about the City of Lies. That's a common mistake. I mean, I've done that even... You know, I've played hundreds of games of L5R, and I still do that occasionally. And I know I made plenty of errors in my streamed game. It does add a little bit of spice to the matchup. This particular matchup, the Scorp v Scorp, I've often compared it to delving into the 9th circle of hell, Dante's Inferno style, with your opponent, and really you kind of get to this point where the game is teetering for a while, which is really fun. It's a really fun matchup, I think, but it's very intensive. Your brain kind of melts by the end of it. Although it's very, it makes it a whole lot easier if your opponent sort of lets you blow them out. So once again, I mean, he hits Secret Cache. This province is a nightmare. Thing is, you're poking with a guy with Fate. What's the best case scenario? Like, Meditations kind of hurt still. They all suck. If you guys are enjoying my cast, I am going to continue... Maybe not a lot of these games, because I think the other guys got it pretty much covered. Mine's Desire and Kingsley. But I am streaming other games from our own Australian Discord League, as well as we're doing commentary from some local tournaments and stuff. So if you want to follow, feel free. I don't stream that often or to a schedule or anything. It's mainly just pretty casual. But we'll also get my buddies on and just talk shit and play jank decks as well, which is fun. Alright. So this is going to be a water military conflict. Favorable ground makes defending a lot trickier for JDSauce, because you can spend cards and he can just kind of duck out, which is really, really nice. Why do you think he's doing military instead of political? He wants to avoid like a catch co-defend or something? Potentially. This is one thing I wish in future would be on my wish list for Jigoku, is to enable observers to see what's in people's hands. It'd be really... I mean, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy casting with no hand knowledge, because it kind of makes me feel like I'm in the game. I'm trying to guess what the opponent's trying to do. But from a viewer's perspective, kind of like what they did in Texas Hold'em, where you get to see all the cards, I think that would be better viewers' experience. Alright, so he's letting it through and he's passing. So this makes a lot of sense. What do you do if you Yamaneko? Are you bowing the liar, or are you readying the adept? Oh wow, so there's the reason why he did military. A Legion of One hits the deck. So he's now threatening a break. I just love this card in Scorpion, man. I'm such a fan. It just naturally... Okay, so there's a Fury, and there's no cancel, because there's no Courtier. But back to this card. Oh, they're ready for battle! I'm so into it. Oh no. And he plays the second one. Alright, yeah, so I'm just so into this card in Scorpion, Legion of One, because it just naturally fits into what you're trying to do, right? Oftentimes your military conflicts are going to be pokes. You've got guys with covert. You just, very often in military conflicts, when you're the attacker or defender, you're going to have one guy. And it just fits nicely. It's a really nice card. 2 Furies and 2 ready for battles, and then the Fiery Madness. So I believe this is a 2 of in JDSauce's deck, which is intriguing because I know the Frotop variant doesn't have him at all. He just plays Cloud the Mind. Probably a little underrated, I think, overall, this card. Can't be karated away. You kind of don't really want to let it go because there's so many more impactful attachments. Yeah, I think it's a little underrated. So now this has been a huge expenditure of cards and Fate from both players. They've each spent 3 cards, and JDSauce has actually spent 3 Fate. So he's managing to equalize the Fate differential here a fair bit, which is nice. we got to say. I love seeing the Lion cards because I'm a Lion player. So I'm a big fan. What's up, Joe from Cincinnati? I'm a big fan, man. I watch plenty of your videos. I think I've actually played you a couple times with Jigoku too. Pretty sure you gave me a hiding. I'm up all hours of the night, just playing Americans. Complete L5R addict. Okay, so he's bowed the liar, so he doesn't want a second conflict with it, at least with this character. So we'll see what he ends up doing with it. Alright, so he's returned the adept. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. That's a strong play. So this social illusionist cannot threaten a break alone unless it's a shameful display. Or without a further expenditure of a card. I'm just looking at both these lists. It looks like they're both running 2 Banzai. They're both running 2 Assassinations. I've only seen the one played this game. 2 Fate Worse Than Deaths. Fate Worse Than Deaths aren't really going to be playing a role until later on when there's Kachiko's hitting the table to try and end the game, I think. And it's 1 policy debate against 2, so they're not going all out on that front. And it looks like Yamaneko's actually got 10 conflict characters, whereas JDSauce has only got the 4, so he'll have a little bit of an edge with unopposed honor loss, I would have thought, with that sort of advantage, information advantage. Yeah, normally I'd have a co-caster because I just tend to ramble and rant and rave. Keep me in line, but yeah, it was kind of last minute. Okay, so we're going for political Earth. I think Earth's correct. I mean, you don't get a fate, but Earth is just very important in this matchup. So he's used the favorable ground. He's coming in to oppose, just prevent that honor loss. So he is they're getting to the point now where assassinations become a bit more of a risk. You got 5 to 6 honor. I wonder if either player would play one right now. It's a bit of a risk. I don't think Yamaneko would, because if it gets cancelled, you're kind of fucked. Okay, there's the Court Mask. So there's the cheeky one-off Court Mask. I love this card. I think this card is definitely underrated in my opinion. Because many times the return to hand aspect isn't costing you. Because your character's already dishonored for whatever reason. And I just think having an attachment that buffs both conflict types is just really, really nice. So that gets the job done. We've got the first break of the game. Rally to the Cause goes down. And, oh, he's actually hit a Yojimbo with the Ring of Earth. Which doesn't feel good. I mean, I don't know what else is in his hand, but if it was me, I wouldn't be feeling too good about that. Oh, some more Lion Tech. Dude, all the good cards in this game are gold in color, right? Well, thank you, Bitmetal. Appreciate that. Yeah, so Soldier Token brings up a good point. Court Mask suffers. He says Court Mask suffers from being in clan with so many other great in clan cards. I agree with that. The deck is very, very tight, and that's why often you'll see it as a one-of. And I think one-of is about right, given the recursion aspect. It's tricky. I'd like to see it in more Scorpion decks, personally. But I have to say, I'm not a primary Scorpion player, so I have a Lion's Land, and I love buffs. Alright, so Ageless Crone's going to be hitting for Void. So this is nice. If he gets this conflict off, he's going to clear the board, which is really good. What are the odds he gets this off, though? It's going to be pretty tough, man. Scorpion's really hard to poke into. He has spent the Miramotos. Does he spend an Assassination? It seems really, really expensive. And now he can actually play the Edict, because remember, Ageless Crone is a courtier. And he hasn't spent a cancel, so that is still... I mean, I've mentioned it from turn 1. That is still one thing that's going in Yamaneko's favor. To be honest, I was expecting this game to blow out a little harder. I'm actually pretty impressed with his... The Ready for Battles did a lot of work. They essentially negated 2 Fate and 2 Muramoto's Furies worth of stuff. Okay, so... Void Ring resolved, loses unopposed. The Illusionist is now marked for death, but he's returned that Court Master hand, so that will be seeing play later in the game. Once these bids start getting reduced lower, cards like Court Master become so much more important. When you're forced to bid low in this sort of a mirror, which eventually will happen, having a recurring card is really strong. Okay, so this is interesting. So he's elected to spend a Fate to remove the Dishonored status token. So he doesn't want to go below 5. I think that's perfectly reasonable play. And he's still got 3 Fate going into next turn, so he'll still have 10. However, that means that Yamaneko's on Fate parity. And he's still got a dude. So I'm actually really impressed. I thought this game was going to turn south a lot quicker. Having said that, JDSauce has got a 4-card hand advantage. And when these honor totals are dipping low, 4 cards is really like 4 turns worth of advantage. Potentially. And so that's pretty rough. And man, these flips are just really... I think all 3 have been incredibly suboptimal for the side of Yamaneko. You really don't want to see another City of Liars. You want to see like a Liar, please. A Manipulator, please. Even this Blackmail Artist at this point in the game is going to do a lot of heavy lifting. Also, this card, it's been spoken about a fair bit in L5R Media, but in the Scorpion Mirror is incredibly important because it allows you to throw away Attachment Hate and throw away this way the Scorpions that have no effect. So she essentially is like draw 2 cards a turn, given that you're discarding dead cards. So this card has... I think most Scorpion players these days will play them in triplicates because they're just so important for the mirror. Alright, so he's elected to just balls to the wall. Yunako's coming out full price. This is also something you rarely see in Scorp. Scorpion's usually like charging her in and just whacking someone with a force penalty, but you know, desperate times. I like the 2 Fate. If you're going to buy her at all, you might as well stick at least 2 because 1 Fate worse than death, just turning off your investment, does not feel good. So, I like that. I'd like to see him also play this Rumor Monger, so he has the cancel stick. So he can at least threaten like he has a cancel. If he doesn't play the Rumor Monger, I'd like to see him have a Courtier from hand, which I think he might be out of. Or he has 1 more Crone. He's got 1 more Crone, so he's not actually playing Bayushi Kachiko. So that's another thing that's really going to help JDSauce later. Kachiko is one of those just devastating late game characters. Okay, so he's played Favornice. Okay, so no, he's just passed. He's denied the Fate. He wants to keep a bit of Fate parity, which I understand as well. My concern here, I mentioned it, is that you don't have a cancel. You can't even threaten the cancel, so your opponent can sort of play his events willy-nilly until he has a Courtier. So he's got 1 more Courtier, which is the other Crone. So I'm kind of hoping he has that, or a charge, or something to get this guy into play. I think it's important to have this guy in play, even if you don't actually have the cancel, because the fear of the cancel will force your opponent to play around as if you had the cancel, which can make your opponent make suboptimal moves. So it's tricky. I understand the desire to keep the Fate up high as well. So just looking at these lists. So the Ready for Battles, that was all 2 in the list, and there should be 1 more Legion of 1. And then just the 2 Crones is the other part of the Lion Splash. So he's seen a good chunk of his Lion cards. Both players have seen about half their deck, so... Trying to see if there's anything else interesting here. Yeah, so Yamaneko's playing 2 copies of Soshiro Miyako which I love that card. I understand why it's not being played at the moment, because there are, like Soldier Token said earlier, so many other good in-clan options. But if you're running 10 conflict characters, that ability to bounce a guy in and force an honor or dishonor. Sorry, a dishonor or a random discard. Okay, so we got a 3-bid and a 2-bid. There's a small honor exchange and an activation of the Stronghold. And we're going in for a political fire poke. This is a poke, right? He knows it's highly unlikely he's going to win this conflict, but he's getting the 2 fate. He's got a 1 skill. So there are plenty of ways that JDSauce can end this conflict. But now he's climbing back up there in the fate department, which is really nice for him. And also, City of Lies is essentially a fate generating card, assuming you have enough events that cost money. He's running 2 charges, 2 calling in favors, and I Can Swim, and 2 fate worse than deaths. Looks like that's it. So maybe 3 City of Lies is too many for this deck. Okay, so we're just waiting on JDSauce's decision. I think JDSauce is playing pretty well. He's not really spending the cards he doesn't need to. He's sort of holding a lot of cards in his hand, which is what you want to be doing. He's sort of playing from the back seat, which I really like as a Scorpion strat. All right. Okay, so he's elected to let it go and pass. So he's actually just letting him have the firing. Fair enough, and Yamaneko's also passed. So that's interesting to me. It says that the cards he wants to spend are either too big, like a Fate Worse than Death, or he needs them for a future conflict, like 2 for Shames or something. He just doesn't want to waste on a little poke. And he can also use that social looseness to remove this Dishonor token. So it is going to cost him a fate in that sense, but the ring effect isn't the biggest deal. Okay, so JDSauce is using these. He's getting rid of I Can Swim. This makes a lot of sense, right? He's currently lower bid, so it's not going to be on this turn. In future turns, it's likely they're going to have really weird bidding situations. It's not guaranteed by any means, so I like that decision. And then he's activated the Stronghold, so he's just equalizing the honor a bit. Currently 4-5, so this is where these mirrors get really interesting to me, is when both players are sort of in the honor pits and they can no longer just draw 5 and sort of play all the cards, and you kind of each decision to play each card becomes so much more meaningful to the game, which I really love. Okay, so where the Scorpion hits the bin, no surprises there. This card is completely dead, except against Goblin Sneak. Which is perhaps why he used I Can Swim first. Because I Can Swim is even more dead than Way of the Scorpion in this mirror match. So when does Sneak become a thing? Because turn 1, JDSauce had 8 fate. So there's no point playing the Sneak, right? Unless you're doing some Legion 1 bullshit. But the Sneak is there when they've got 3 or lower fate and you want to disrupt their plans. So maybe this turn? He's got 2 fate left. Maybe this turn is the turn we see a Goblin Sneak. Which I would just love. He's really managed to do very well with the fate, because he was at a huge disadvantage. And now he's got, somewhat board parity. His hand's a little lower and he's lost a province, but he's got the fate up, which is really impressive. Many players would have just scooped after that first turn, I think. Okay, so now the decision rests with JDSauce. He's deciding how to attack this. So he knows it's likely he's going to see 2 Void provinces here. Actually, what else is... he's got Pilgrimage, Shameful, and Secret Cache. So is he running Pilgrimage on the box? I mean, that would be kind of unorthodox, but it has been done. So it's likely that he's going to hit a Void province, and if not, it's going to be a Cache. So the remaining 3 are really nasty. He doesn't want to have another board state hit with this Meditations, which I understand. Soldier Token mentions that Yama's icon swims are turned on. Yeah, so Yamaneko's running one, so that is an important consideration. I don't think you want to icon swim the Illusionist, but definitely if you could hit the Niece, it's probably worth it. And he's got the secret case, so he is able to dig for that card if that's something he wants to play. So that's an interesting point. Good point. Icon Swim has sort of fallen away from the conversation with regards to Scorpion. But I still think it's a very powerful effect, and I personally still run one. And with the access to Niece, I mean, you never really make a mistake with the one of something conditional. Because you're always sort of able to sort of equalize that variance with favored Niece if it's in a matchup that's really not applicable or whatever. She's just a phenomenal character. Her one drawback is the 2 glory. You'd prefer she was a 1 or a 0, but other than that, she's fantastic. Joe says the mirror match has been palatable, surprisingly. Yeah, you know what? When I first started playing, I thought they were horrific, and I think they were, but people have sort of worked out the strategy a bit, and it's really fun now to watch them. Alright, so Yamaneko is playing the Crone. So this is really cool. So the Crone synergizes with Goblin Sneak because you suck away their fate and then you make their events unplayable. Now we haven't seen the Sneak this game, but the Crone has done some decent work. And this is going to be infuriating for JDSauce. Like he's only got 2 fate remaining. What can we guess is in his hand right now? Well, there's one card that we know is in his hand, Court Mask, and that does not have an increased cost because of the Crone. So that's a pretty strong play, and he's threatening the break. So that's just an ideal play. Well done, JDSauce. Just having a look at what else he's got in his deck here. Assassination. He still hasn't seen and or wanted to play them. I understand at 5 honor you're kind of a little nervous about it. Okay, so we see the second for shame played by Yamaneko at a cost of 1 fate. So that's going to take the total down to 4. So he's no longer breaking. This is, of course, an air ring. So airs, if you guys have noticed, you probably have, the air and fire rings have become more and more premium as the game goes on. That typically tends to happen, especially when there's a Scorpion involved in a match. People sort of throw Honor to the wind for the first 2 or 3 turns, maybe first 2 turns, and then it really becomes a premium sort of resource, not because you don't want to lose the game usually, but because you don't want to be forced into suboptimal situations where you don't really want to defend, but you have to stop your losing honor and so on. Okay, so yeah, Joe's saying he's not a fan of the dominating the meta. I agree. I think cards like Meek, Informant, and Policy Debate are the real villains. I like Fate Worse Than Death, and I like that it's in the environment. It maybe could have cost 5, but personally I actually like it. I think the more heinous aspects of the Scorpion kit are actually the neutral cards, the Policy Debate, because you get to... If you've got a skill edge on your opponent, and you've got a deck edge, and you get to see their hand and play a perfect turn, it just feels so disgusting. But I'm a line player, so I despise Policy Debate. But yeah, I think that's the problem card for me. He's saying the mirror match is stupid because of their stronghold. Yeah, that stronghold is, for me, far and away the best stronghold in the game at the moment. Oh, we did see the Icon Swim. So shout out to Soldier Token. Good call, man. He's just sent that Illusionist packing. And he's actually only paid 1 for it. He's actually paid 0 for it, which is sick because of the City of Lies. So congrats to him for pulling that off. That was a big one. So that's interesting. I mean, it is an expensive play. Not in the cost, the fate cost, but the opportunity cost of threatening that later on a Kachiko or someone. It actually has costed him 1 because of the Corona, I forgot. But he's importantly defending this air conflict, which at this point is actually a big deal, in my opinion. And we are waiting on JDSauce's decision. So it looks like he's considering favorable grounding in maybe, and still trying to win. Another benefit of discarding the Illusionist is getting rid of this Court Mask, which is going to be playing a role. If this game does go to deep waters, like, you know, round 5 and 6 is going to be playing a big role. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, this game, I'm actually very impressed. I thought it was going to be a huge blowout, and I was nervous for my first cast of a Discord Cup game to be just a horrible blowout like one of mine was. But it's been pretty fun to watch. I think this Lion Splash is like really spicy. I love it. Okay, so he's elected to pass, and pass. We've got a 1 conflict for Yamaneko. Alrighty. Okay, so both players have military conflicts remaining, which sort of favors Yamaneko, but this favorable ground makes it kind of tough. I think you got to go at the Cache, right? Cache was the province that was revealed this turn, yeah? Oh no, that was the other way. No, I think I was right, yeah. So you go at the Cache. Nope, I was wrong. Ignore what I just said. You don't go at the... Well, he is going to go at the Cache anyway. This is donating some hand advantage, which is... it's becoming a bit of a premium. I am just so impressed by this comeback, because like I've watched a lot of games and I've played in a lot of Scorpion mirrors, and it usually doesn't feel that winnable from that sort of a position. So, and he also has still not spent a cancel. We're on turn 3 and there's only been 1 cancel played, so props to both players for not using their cheating cards. The Schmooze is saying he feels that Lion Splash is like a next level meta call. I think so too. It certainly means you're able to break provinces more quickly, and I think for that reason, the deck is sort of relative to other Scorpion builds better in a Kotai environment when you've got like 60-minute rounds, because you're almost always going to have a lead going to time, and playing to time has, sadly, in my opinion, become a big part of Kotai L5R. From what I've heard in Cork, it was pretty rampant. Okay, so just to interrupt, we got just a pass. Province is broken. So this says to me that JDSauce is a little spent. He's got a full hand but no fate. And we've finally got a break for Yamaneko, so congrats to him. This has been a tight match. And so that was the Void Ring, so Nice is going away as well. So, I mean, man, this game is it's getting down to the nitty-gritty now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, what I was saying is that this particular variant is good in Kotais where there's a time limit, because you can sort of get a lead more easily maybe than the Dragon version. Alright, so the one downside of going for Void is he can sort of freely assault the meditations. And it's going to be military, so if he's got a Bonsai, I guess he can break. Well, at this point, you've got 3 honor. You kind of don't want to spend the honor. So he's going for Earth. This is a good decision. He wants to expound his boom, there's the charge. Awesome. He wants to sort of increase his hand lead over Yamaneko. If he doesn't have an edge in board or fate, he wants the hand edge. And water doesn't really get you anything at this point in the turn. So charge comes out. So what are we expecting to see played now? I mean, JDSauce is a huge hand, and we've already seen 2 for shame spent from Yamaneko. We've seen 1 spent from JDSauce. So, okay, here's the Bonsai. And he is losing the honor. So this is a ballsy play. He's wanting to threaten the break. Actually, he won't even be threatening the break. So he just wants to guarantee the win. So he's viewing this conflict as incredibly important, clearly. Alright. So it looks like Yamaneko just hasn't seen his cancels because he hasn't played any. And he had the option there to play one. Or maybe he's just holding them, which would be the sort of next level. Policy debate hits the deck. So that is a one of in this deck, actually, which mad props to you, Yamaneko, for only playing one of those toxic fucking cards. Props to you, and for getting this far. Minds Desire is saying he's going to go cast Suki versus Largeness. Good luck with that, man. Thanks for watching. Yeah, that should be a cracking game, actually. So, yeah, if you guys want to go start a new game, you're welcome to. I'm not doing this for the viewer count, clearly. I'm doing it because I love talking about L5R. And I love talking to you guys all over the world about the game, which is really a cool part of playing a card game in the 2010s, is that you can kind of exchange, the free exchange of ideas across countries is really cool. So remember when I first played L5R, it was like 04, 05, and it was a little trickier. The metas were kind of, it was more like divergent evolution, right? Like the metas were really different, but it feels like there's a lot of exchange of ideas between metas now. Okay, so I have to say that was an incredible turn for Yamaneko. So man, what a turnaround! He does have a huge hand deficit, but he's at the honor lead, slight fate lead, and a huge board lead. So he's really managed to turn this game around for now. Although this flip looks kind of good for both players, I have to say. He's finally seen a liar. Shoju's hitting the table as well. And on the other side, we've got Black Mail Artist, which when the honor totals this low is super, super important. And Yogo Hiroe, who is just fucking amazing at this point in the game as well. So which would you guys buy? I don't know. JDSauce has got that first player token, which is pretty important. There's probably going to be a bit of noise. My washing machine's going. Sorry about that, guys. Gotta keep clean, you know? Gotta keep clean. Oh yeah, so Weapon Taco brings up a good point. The favorable ground flip means he can put the crone into multiple conflicts, which is really, really annoying. That is a really annoying strategy, and it makes a lot of sense if that's the line he wants to take. Okay, so we've got a Black Mail Artist with no fate. So these players normally aren't going to be playing Shoju with one fate. Black Mail Artist, you usually want to drop a fate on him. They're sort of sensing the game is coming to a crescendo, which I think is the correct assessment of what's going on. The game is coming to a head, and it looks like it's going to be a dishonor victory for one of the players or the other. And so at this point in the game, you forgo future advantage for current advantage, and that's why it's important to make these changes in gears, where you want to sort of adjust your play style to the current game state. And it makes a lot of sense to me to, for instance, only play one fate on Shoju and no fate on the Liar, because you're wanting to sort of build that edge. So okay, so JDSauce has passed, and that gives Yamaneko free license to play the Liar without worrying about losing pass fate. So there we go. Draw phase. What bids are we expecting here? I'm expecting a 1 bid each. Maybe 2 bid from Yamaneko if he wants to get crafty, but I'm expecting 1 to 1. You want to put maximum honor pressure here. Now, for all this talk about a fate worse than death, funnily enough, we haven't seen one played. Granted, there haven't been great targets, but you know who's a great target for fate worse than death? a 1 fate Shoju. If there's ever been a target for it, he's the target. So yeah, okay, so that's interesting. He's gone for the 2 bid. He needs a couple more cards, and this has equalized the honor total, so JDSauce isn't going to be able to get his stronghold off in draw phase, which is important. Shout out to both these guys. They're playing an incredible game. It's been really fun to watch, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Yep, he was going to lose it to the box. So now, this is where like the maths get really tricky. You've kind of got to plan for the next couple conflicts. Sort of add up how much honor can I make my opponent lose. Turning the blackmail artist off is going to be important if you can stop him stealing an honor. So if you're JDSauce, what are you doing first? I guess you poke. You have favorable ground to escape. It's really hard. I think you want to deny the water ring, so you probably go for like political water and just force Yamaneko to defend. That's probably what I would do. Then depending on how he defends, you could maybe jump in a Kachiko or do something. It's really hard to speculate. He's got 13 cards in hand. We don't know what they are, and so like you can sort of guess what they are though. He's got half his deck in his hand. What would you guys do here? You're staring down a wall of guys. You're first player. You've got 7 fate. You also kind of need to win air, or at least deny air ring. So interestingly, JDSauce is not playing a copy of Mono no Aware, and neither is Yamaneko. Ooh, okay, so we got the other clan champion. Kachiko hits the deck. So this is another card that's excellent with favorable ground, because you can go in, threaten a break, threaten a conflict win. They defend, you send them home bound, and you can favorable ground out if you want. It's really, really strong. So he can't really go. He can't go to Meditations. That's a disaster. He cannot go to the Void Province because it's going to be a shameful. And Pilgrimage is going to be on the box. So he's going to Cache. He's going to have to go to the Secret Cache if he wants to go at all. Yeah, Weapon Taco saying seems like Dishonor's the way to go here. Yeah, I don't see strongholds being broken. This happens often in Scorpion Mirrors. More often than not, it's going to be a Dishonor win. Just because of the way that Honor gets thrown around willy-nilly. Okay, so he's just selecting rings. This is really, really hard. He's gone for air. I think that's the correct choice. Even if you don't win the conflict, denying your opponent from claiming it on attack is just so fucking key. Alright, and another benefit here is that Yamaneko does not have enough fate to play Fate Worse Than Death, even with the City of Lies. So that is another benefit. So what can we see Yamaneko fetch with this Secret Cache? What would you be getting? A Cloud the Mind could be good. He doesn't have a Shigenja, never mind. Just looking at his list. Probably going for like a Goblin Snake, Steal the Last Fate. I'm probably picking up an Adept of Shadows or a Goblin Snake. We'll see. Okay, so he is not letting him win this air conflict. I like this because from Yamaneko's perspective, if you manage to win this conflict, you then have access to water, and it's going to be very, very difficult for this blackmail artist to defend alone. If JD decides to eject with favorable ground with Kachiko, he can do the same with his Shoju. So I really, really like this decision to defend. I think it's pretty strong. Strong play. And he's just elected to pass. And I like this inclusion of the crone, right? Because for Kachiko to get ahead in this conflict, he needs to play, presumably, an event. His court mask has been expended, so the only other pumps he's got in the deck are events. So he needs to spend an event, which costs him a fate. And he's doing that. He's playing a Fiery Madness. Cool. So now Shoju needs to use his action. Because if Shoju doesn't use his action here on Kachiko, he's going to get sent home bowed. So this is a really cool interplay between these two players. Alright. Oh. Court games. Strong card to have at this point in the game. And because the crone is out, he cannot play his own, which is really, really brutal. Man, this is a really, really tough position for JDSauce. That turn, I think, you know what the turn was? With the 2 ready for battles. That was the point in the game where it felt like a lot of the spending that Yamaneko had used in that turn 1 that was in vain was kind of returned the other way. The 2 Furies expended, and the fate cost associated with those. That was the turn where it kind of swung a little bit back. And since then, he's just been playing really, really good strategy. So what do you do here? I mean, if you eject, so too does Shoju, so... This is looking tough. Alright. Okay, so yeah, he's ejected, and so too has Yamaneko. So Kachiko siding, yeah. I mean, this game, man, I don't know if you caught the start of it, Joe, but wow, was it a blowout in favor of JDSauce in that first turn. And it's been such an impressive comeback. Lovers quarrel, indeed. Indeed. Shoju definitely got the better of that one. And I like this. He's going to swing in for military. If he goes, what do you guys expect the ring's going to be? Fire's pretty good. Water's good because you deny the last fate from JDSauce, and you can bow out the blackmail artist before you go in politically. Where do you go? You don't want to go against Shameful Display. You go against Pilgrimage. You still got the favor, so you're threatening break, and you hope you have maybe one other pump. I just think if this game doesn't end this turn, it's going to be very difficult the following turn for JDSauce, because Yamaneko is going to have that first player token, and a Shoju who's going to be balling out of control. So I think I'm going water, and I'm going to try and get the void political off after. That's what I'm going to do. Try and clear up this Kachiko mess. Okay, so he's gone fire. It's another reasonable option. It adds dishonor pressure, given that the Ring of Air is no longer available. And, yeah, I think it's completely reasonable. And he's forcing... see, this is kind of like pseudo-water effect anyway, because he's forcing the Blackmail Artist to defend, because he has to, otherwise it's going to break. So he's getting the bowing effect anyway. And if he does manage to have a pump in his hand, could be really, really bad for JD. Now, one interesting thing about this sort of situation where both players are on 3 honor, one thing you can do is play a bonsai and copy it twice to reduce yourself to 1 honor. Then you steal from your opponent, so he'll drop down to 2, and you're still on 2 as well. And so it's one way to suck an honor away without turning on their stronghold, and then you can kind of get an unopposed conflict that way, and get the dishonor win. Does he have any more bonsais? Okay, so Yamaneko hasn't actually played one, and he is running 2 of them, so maybe it's likely we see that. With no fate left for JDSauce, what are we expecting to see? A For Shame could be a good play. He's only spent 1 of them. Pretty sure he's got 3. Yeah, he's got 3 in his list. So a For Shame could be a strong move. Okay, so he's elected to pass, and then the bonsais came out, and interestingly, he hasn't gone the risky play of reducing his own honor. He's just pumping himself up enough to threaten that break and threaten that ring, the Ring of Fire effect, which I like. This is the more conservative, measured approach, which I think is good. I'm a fan. All right. Hope you guys are enjoying our lovely royalty-free music. Normally I'll be playing some fully sick beats, but yeah, I don't want to have my VOD like turned off. If you guys are enjoying yourselves, just give me a follow. There's more on the way. Probably not too many more Discord. Okay, so For Shame comes out and he's elected to bow. Probably not too many more of these cup games, because I know Mind's Desire and Kingsley are working overtime to get those games to you guys. But I am playing, we'll be streaming a bunch of Australian Discord League matches, a bunch of casuals, just fun stuff. And I usually have like a couple of my buddies on, talk shit, so. I don't know how entertaining it is, but you guys can find out. Alright, so that's interesting. So he's played the For Shame. It's a pretty big spend. In a turn where you have 0 fate to play your second For Shame, I mean, what other impactful events do you have left in the deck for 0? Court games. There aren't many. Joe's talking shit about Kachiko and Shoju, which is funny. Okay, so he's elected to bow, so he'd rather, I mean, I guess if he dishonors, he's no longer breaking. So it makes a lot of sense to just give him the ring. Because if you're not breaking, you're not getting the ring effect, so. But that has put JDSauce in a very bad position now. He's got a military conflict left, but he's got 0 skill, because Kachiko is neutered by the dishonor token she has. And she's going to stare down these 2 guys who will come and swing in. And my intuition is that they're going to go for Void. So one thing he could do here is go for Void and threaten like he has a bonsai and just try and get rid of Shoju. Perhaps it leaves him a little too exposed for unopposed conflicts and such. We'll see. I think it's looking really, really grim for the following turn for JDSauce at the moment. Okay, so he's passed. He's passed his conflict opportunity. Alright, so this is intriguing to me. He's going for water. So I personally would have gone for Void. I don't understand this decision. I guess he wants the fate. Has he played all 3 For Shames? Let's have a look. 1, 2. No. So if he has another For Shame, maybe it makes a little more sense. What do you think about this ring selection? Yeah, I don't know about this. I guess he just figures Kachiko just isn't a threat next turn. But personally, I'd much prefer to get rid of her. Okay, so he has to defend because he doesn't want to lose honor for unopposed honor loss. Okay, one thing he could be doing here is saving this point of honor loss for next turn. So he might be thinking really, really deep and thinking, well, next turn I'm first player. I've got a Shoju. Shoju doesn't really scare. Shoju isn't really afraid of a 3-skill Kachiko. I'm still going to threaten a conflict. I'm going to threaten air. And then at the end of the Fate phase, that's when this honor point will hit, rather than now. So if it hits now, he can use his stronghold and sort of keep his head above water. Maybe he's aiming to look to dishonor him out the following Fate phase. Maybe. I don't know. And also he gets the Fate, so... I think the only reason you choose water is the Fate. Alright, he does have the court games. That's pretty big. Wow, and he's passed. So that's not a great result. Because this means, right, if Shoju just pile drives into the province next turn, he's going to get sent home by Kachiko. That was an interesting turn of events, I got to say. I did not expect the water conflict. Okay, maybe he's thinking, all right, if he's got court games, I can't win the conflict regardless, so I might as well take favor and get the Fate. And if he doesn't choose to play the court games, then I'm winning the conflict. He's still dishonored, and I still win the favor. So, yeah. All right, so well, that was an interesting turn. It's still a very, very close game. Both players are on 3 honor. Both players got big units in play. Yamaneko's got the slight Fate lead, and JDSauce is the slight hand lead. And right when you need him, the Black Mail Artist shows up, along with a Hiraway for either side. So, what are you buying here, guys? You got 9 Fate. Do you just buy all 3 guys? I think he's going to buy all 3 guys. I think this is the turn where stuff's going to go down. So we're hitting turn 5. This has been quite the epic battle, and I feel a little bit bad for Eternal Mage, who left after that turn 1 because he thought it was going to be a blowout. Because this has turned into a great game to watch. There's some very, very important card uses. I know, like in the first turn of L5R, you don't really see it because people are just spending cards. It's just how the game works right now. But like at this point, like, ooh, he spent the court games. What a decision. He's not going to have it for the following turn. Yada yada. These things actually matter now, which is really cool. I love it when the game gets to this point where both players are on low honor. I think it's actually easier to express a skill advantage when both players have smaller hand sizes as well, or at least lower honor totals. Because each card you play, you have more opportunity to have a gulf between your and your opponent's uses of the same cards. It's really cool. Yeah, so Joe's suggesting he's just trying to preserve favor. I think that's important. Favor is a point of skill, and sometimes that can mean the difference. I think maybe he was just thinking, look, if the guy's got the court games, there's no way I'm winning the conflict. He plays the court games, then he sends Shoju home and he still wins. And he sends Shoju home bowed. If I go for water, I at least get Fate. Maybe that's what he was thinking. Fate and favor. So I understand it. Also, another thing to remember is by going for water, he's ensured that Void and Earth have Fate this turn, as opposed to water having 2 Fate. So maybe he doesn't want to give JDSauce the ability to claim a 2 Fate watering on the counter attack and ready guys. That's another thing to think about. I mean, these players are both capable of thinking very deeply about these decisions, so I'm not taking any of their decisions for granted. I'm going to try and analyze them. Okay, so we go to Hiraway, followed by a Liar. Hiraway, Liar. And this is where it gets tricky. There's sort of a cat and mouse game, passing game. So JDSauce might elect to pass here. He does. He wants the Fate. Fair enough. But now Yamaneko has a decision. And it's important to remember that neither player has played a Fate Worse Than Death, and we've only seen one Forged Edict coming in from JDSauce on turn 1. So, wow, I mean, he's passed as well. So this signifies to me that there is a Fate Worse Than Death on the horizon. Something tells me this is going to be the turn, guys. This has been what an incredible game. Yunako does a lot of work with Hirue, because he can attack with Yunako and Hirue, drag in Kachiko, swap her stats, or swap Hirue's stats and just wreck the conflict. Oh wow, JDSauce has gone for the 2-bid. So this is a risk, right? Because later on, if Yamaneko suffers some honor loss, like say through a Banzai, he can then use his stronghold back, and then JD's on 2 honor. This is a big risk, man. Big risk. Maybe he feels like he needs a cancel. He's drawing for that cancel. In a way, Yamaneko, by not buying this Blackmail Artist, has telegraphed that he wants to play something else from hand, and he's got the City of Lies, so he's got enough to play that Fate Worse Than Death. So it could be a bit of mind gaming going on here, where at the very least, Yamaneko wants to threaten like he has the Fate Worse Than Death, and threaten like he has the cancel. And so that could force JDSauce to bid a little higher to try and find that answer. This is what I love about this Scorpion matchup. There's a leveling war that happens every single turn. There's a lot of honor games, mind games. It's really, really interesting to watch. And these guys are clearly top-notch players. I don't think I gave Yamaneko enough credit after that first turn. I thought the game was iced. I was with Eternal Mage. Alright, so first conflict coming up. Yeah, you always expect to see, if you're first player and you've got a Hirue, you're expecting to see him involved. Just because that harpoon effect is just so gnarly. So he's gone Military Void. What do you guys think about this? This is just to nullify one of these two characters, right? He's going to Pilgrimage because it's safe. He doesn't want the ring effect. He doesn't care about the void. He wants the fate. And he wants to nullify... He's probably going to try and nullify Hirue. Force Kachiko to come in and just City Eliza. Fate Worse Than Death there. If he has it. This is quite a reviling position for JDSauce to be in. This is horrible. We've seen some really fascinating plays this game, like buying Unico full price with 2 Fate. We've seen the double Ready for Battle to cancel 2 Miramoto's Furies, which I think was the key play for Yamaneko. And that I Can Swim was brilliant as well. Got rid of the Court Mask, which was doing a lot of heavy lifting, actually. Okay, so we've seen a no defense, and he's pulled in Kachiko. So now my only concern with this, just choosing Kachiko over Hirue, is that when you pull in Kachiko, you run the risk of getting policy debated because she's got a 2 skill lead on you. Whereas if you pull in Hirue, if he policy debates, you're at least at skill parity. And also Hirue can drag guys in. Hirue can drag guys in on the attack as well, which is nice. It'll make a lot more sense if he plays a Bonsai right now. And then when Hirue attacks, just Fate Worse Than Deaths him. If he plays a Bonsai, right, he's winning the conflict. He loses the honor, so he gets lower enough to use his stronghold. He wins the conflict, he dishonors Kachiko, and turns off one of the character's abilities to cast Forged Edict, and then on the counter attack, his first action, he can first card Fate Worse Than Death Hirue. Which might be what he's thinking. But yeah, like I said, that is a risk, because if you've got the policy debate, you can pluck that card. He hasn't played a policy debate, and he is running 2 of them. And he's seen the majority of his deck, 75%. So by the balance of probabilities, he's got it as well. Wow! And he plays it, and an immediate Forged Edict. It's like he's been holding onto that bloody card for the whole game. And that's the first Forged Edict we've seen from Yamaneko. Wow, having that cancel has got to hurt. Now, that is a point of honor loss that that Yamaneko will suffer at the end of the Fate phase here. So it's something to keep in mind. And he's just passing, so he's just doing this to waste this character. Which I understand. It's a good character. Alright, so pre-conflict passing. So what do we expect here? Water's good, because water will, if you manage to win, which seems unlikely, you'll be able to ready this character. Earth gets you Fate. Air, if the opponent defends, at least denies them the ability to steal honor. This is quite an ugly situation. I mean, I would not want to be on the receiving end of this board. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. I'm just doing my best solo casting. Caffeinated to the wazoo though, so that's good. Probably going to be playing some games with Goku later, so if any of you guys want to play some matches with me, hit me up on Discord. Name's Toriadori, aka Birdie Beetle. Alright. So this is the point in these games where these decisions start taking longer, and it's completely reasonable in my mind at the end of these games for these decisions to take longer, because there are so many flow-on effects from a tiny little mistake in planning that can just ruin the game for you. So this is a natural consequence of such a close, tight game. It really has developed into a tight contest, and it's been awesome to watch. So it looks like it's going to be political fire. I'm seeing the firing changing. And wow, he's going to hit up Shameful Display, man. This is... Ugh. What do you guys think about this decision to hit up Shameful? You know what? In hindsight, it's almost a mistake to break this Rally to the Cause, because that's one province you can just farm forever. And now he's got 3 bad choices. The Schmooze is asking if I'll stream said matches. You know what, man? I probably will. I'm feeling it today. I might... I only just woke up and got asked to stream because I think mine says I was busy. So I'll probably take like a little break, go have a shower and stuff, and then come back with some games. Yeah, why not? I've been testing a low bid lion strategy again, kind of following on from the Shogun, Sam Benny's. He's been pretty active recently in the Lion chat, and it's just been cool to get his thoughts on the state of the game and stuff. So I'm testing Spies at Court in Lion, which has been really working for me. But yeah, I'll probably play some Jank too. We'll see what happens. And if there are other league matches being played and no one's available, I'm happy to keep doing this. I mean, I'd prefer to have a co-caster, but I am comfortable just doing it solo. As long as you guys are entertained, then it's good for me. So the Schmooze wants to play Phoenix. Sweet, man. Yeah, well, maybe we can tee up a game. You can find me on Discord, so maybe just add me as a mate on Discord, and I'll send you a message after this stream. All right. So he's having second thoughts about this province selection. Secret Cache is horrible because you don't want to either give him access to Fate Worse Than Death or give him access to the cancel for your cancel. So I think you cannot go Secret Cache. You might have to just swallow the meditations and just... Man, this is just such an ugly province row. I think like I was saying before, if you sort of foresee that the game is going to go to Conquest, maybe not breaking this rally is the play. That happened really early on though, so it's kind of tough. Oh wow, so he's actually past the conflict. So he's realized he needs the first action. Otherwise it's going to be a disaster. He just feels like there's no out there, which I completely appreciate. You know, Meditations voids you. Shameful has a huge swing. Huge. Unrecoverable, probably. And then Secret Case gives him access to those extremely nasty cards. Yeah, yeah, Joe, they are taking their time. I'm okay with it, man. Like, at this point in the game, these decisions really mean a lot. Like, turn 1, the decision to play court games is, like, brainless. But at this point, it's actually meaningful, so... I actually still like watching it. I know, like, perhaps some of the viewers won't enjoy it, but, I like it. It's funny, we haven't seen a single Goblin Sneak. I was kind of hoping to see that card. It's looking less and less likely, though. Alright, so 9 skill, Political Fire. Coming in. So what's the worst case here? The worst case is Hero A gets Fate Worse Than Death with no cancel. And then it's an unopposed conflict. And you have 2 Dishonored guys. Man. This is really tricky. So he's defended. He has to defend. It's clear that he has to defend, right? Otherwise he's just going to get blown out. Woo. Hey, so speaking of new news, what do you guys think about the new FAQ being announced? There's a new rules reference coming out next week, they say. I said on Facebook I hope for a policy debate and a meek informant ban, but I don't think that's going to happen. But what are you guys expecting to see? I don't think we're going to see any errata or ban cards or anything. I reckon it's going to be really just sort of updates to the tournament rules. Maybe the tiebreakers will get shifted around. That sort of thing. I don't think they're going to... They really do not like, especially early on, modifying cards. Maybe policy debate might get a refusal condition. Like lose 2 honor, you can refuse a duel. Something like that. Alright, so court games. Boom. First action, court games. Seems reasonable. So this is another hit of honor loss that's going to be hitting Yamaneko by the end of this turn. Something to be mindful of. City of Lies. So here it comes. This is going to be the big bomb is coming, guys. Poor Banjo is going to get nuked to oblivion. And presumably Yamaneko's got another edict to cancel the edict in response. And let's just have a look at how many conflict characters has JDSauce spent. He spent just the Magistrate. So it's probably likely he's got another conflict guy to at least prevent the unopposed honor loss. He's got 2 copies of Kachiko, so that one of them is in play. The other one he can't play because he doesn't have enough Fate. And then all he's got left is the Yojimbo, which he'd have to play for 3. And it would just be there to soak an honor loss. Actually, no, Shoji would just kill him. So he is... If the Fate Worse Than Death gets through... it's going to be an unopposed honor loss. Man, shout out to these players. This has been an epic fucking game. Really, honestly. So, at this point, if you're JDSauce, you know what's coming. You're racking your brain. You're thinking, how can I prevent this last point of horrible honor loss? And you're thinking, he wouldn't really play this card without a cancel, would he? He wouldn't, right? He's got the cancel. He's trying to think of ways out. Are there any outs? And then eventually you come to the conclusion that you're fucked. And yeah, he passes. Oh no, so he's moved in Yoga Hiroe, and then Fate Worse Than Death. Bam. So this is going to result in GG if there's no changes here. What else could he do? He could... he plays the Yojimbo for 3 with no Fate. He coverts this guy and gets off what ring? He goes for the air ring. He survives. He survives 1 turn. Ooh. And that would actually put Yamaneko on losing point. Are we gonna see a little sneaky win from behind here, guys? Should we start whispering? Should we start whispering? A lot of things have to go right here. Man, this would be the sickest win in history if he plays that Yojimbo right now. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind! He's gonna go for it! He goes for air, he coverts the guy, he goes at meditations. So he's gonna lose 1 for air, he'll be down to 2. This is actually so fucking sick. What do you guys think about this? Is he gonna do it? Oh man, this is revolting if this is how the game ends. Military air, meditations. So he's gonna lose 1 for unopposed. He's gonna lose 1 for losing the conflict. And then he's got 2 dishonored guys. Okay, let's work out what conflict characters. Okay, no. Okay, guys, he's still got a charge. So he could charge. He spent a Yojimbo. What else is he playing? He's got... okay, he's got 10 conflict characters. So, of those, he spent both Crones. Okay, he can't afford any of the other ones. So, it's charge or bust, really. Charge Bonsai? Charge Bonsai will save the game, I think. Oh my god, this is so sick. Yamaneko's first player, which I believe means he has to discard his characters first. Oh man. Hang on, we still got a Legion of 1 left as well, right? So Legion of 1 could make an important difference too. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh man, I'm nervous for these players. This is down to the wire. So if we see like a charge into Legion of 1 with a blackmail artist, he'll have enough skill to defend and win. And if he does that, he fucking gets the win, and it would be a well-deserved win. And if he doesn't have those 2 cards, I'm not seeing a way out. Oh wait, no, he goes political. Of course, you go political. You go political, he can't play the charge. You know his deck list. You've seen he's played his 2 Crones. Genius. That is fucking smart to go political. Okay, hang on. So City of the Open Hand's going to be on, though. So he's going to lose 2. He's going to go down to 1. He's going to steal 1. He's going to be at 2. He's still losing 2 guys. It's going to be one of those things where, because he's first player, he has to discard his characters first. And that's going to be the reason he loses. Holy shit. Oh, man. Yep. So he loses 1 for the unopposed. He's going to lose a further 1 for the Ring of Air. He's going to suck 1 back, so it's going to be 2-2. And then he's going to have to discard his 2 Dishonored guys before JDSauce has to. And that's going to be it. Oh my god! Oh man, what a despicable end. I mean, it's a great play. This has just been an epic game, man. So, yeah, so this is the rulebook. First player loses their guys first. So, wow. What a finish. What an incredible game. Well done to both players. I thought it was going to be a blowout, and you guys made it an absolute tooth and nail battle to the end. And congratulations to JDSauce for a clutch last-minute political final hour conflict with that Yojimbo. Man, give that Yojimbo a medal. Very, very brave Yojimbo. That was just a phenomenal game. Congrats to JDSauce. Good luck moving forward. And Yamaneko, man, you played your heart out. It was a good one. Alright, I'd just like to say thanks to everyone watching. Stay tuned for more games and stuff. I'm probably going to take a little break. Maybe go watch the end of Mind's Desires stream. And yeah, that's about it. So this is Toreadori signing out. Catch you guys.
You could be larger.